Well, hello, friends, and welcome to my hobby home. Happy Vlogmas Day 20. Day 20, guys, is already here. How is it that we only have 11 more days of Vlogmas? Now, this is a time of the year I just absolutely love, guys. I just love it. I absolutely love this time of year. So what I'm doing right now is I'm wrapping up my awareness quilt, my 3-yard quilt here that I got in my Soft Squares Advent box. I'm trying to wrap it up real quick here. Just putting the borders on. This is like the last step for me because once I get this done, it will go to Miss Ava to be long-armed, and I'll probably get it back after the beginning of the new year. So that's fine with me. Let's see how. Apparently, I did not press this. No, I did not. I just realized I did not press out my last border I put on. I wasn't going to bring you guys along for it, but hey, it's part of the process. And this is kind of what goes on in my sewing room. This is something I do want to get done before the end of the year. If I have things going on, and this Merry Christmas quilt behind me too, that's something I'm wanting to work on today. Get it done. I'm just doing a little bit at a time, guys. Now, from now until the beginning of the year, I will be off except for Monday. I will be going in just for a few hours to do our payroll, and hopefully everything will be fine with that. I'm hoping it will be. Got to do payroll, and I've got to go in and after lunchtime and certify my time. I'm sure I will still be in town. Well, I'm hoping not. I'm hoping I'm not in town. So, friends, I didn't sit here and tell you everything we're doing today. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you with me. I do a lot of sit down and sewing and chit-chatting. You see I'm pinning a binding on right now. Not binding, a border. I don't know why I keep saying binding. Probably because that's where I'm ready to be, is at the binding. I am trying to just finish out some projects that I have going this year. I will be bringing you guys along for a review on my whips. And yeah, I have quite a few of those. Now, some of them are definitely still works in progress. I do have a couple UFOs that I hope to be bringing out and finishing up. Maybe not this year, maybe not even next year. That's the kind of worker I am. If it's something that has not tweaked my interest or got put on the back burner for another project, it may not be in my whips right now, because I do have a few things that I do just for small projects. Like if I'm not really feeling a big project, working on a big project, I may do a quilt builder card deck card. And that way I'm still getting something done, not necessarily getting anything closer to being finished, because I have a couple things like that already. I have my string quilt that I just do if I have, 15-20 minutes. I'll pull my scraps out for my scrap builder. What's called string quilt. I haven't done that in a while because my scraps are actually put down here where I can't get to them. I did a little room move around, and I've been going through stuff, to get rid of things, and that's one of the things, of course, I'm going to keep. So I put it over here under my table, and I actually can't get to it right now. But that is part of my plan for while I'm off work until I go back to work. I'm going to knock this piece of border off if I don't get it together. I have not measured out what my top and bottom borders will be, so I'm just keeping that on hand here. But friends, this 3-yard quilt has been absolute. I love it. It's a beautiful quilt. You think about 3-yard quilts, and that's really not a lot of fabric to make a quilt. It will make a nice little throw. You can always add, pick a 4th color and make a really big border on it. That's always something that's a possibility to do if you want to make it a loud throw. I don't know that this is really a full throw size quilt, but it is. I mean, it's a decent size quilt. It's not a teeny tiny quilt. I know, right? I measured out my second border at 47 inches. And I've got 3 borders that go on it. And I'm on my second one. So I'll probably add another, that's my side border. So that's not, that's how long it is. It'll probably end up being, I'm going to say about 50 inches long. So about 5 feet long, which is a good lap throw. But I really love the fabric on this one. And a little more information on the destash that you guys will be seeing tomorrow or Sunday. You'll be seeing a destash come through at 3 p.m. I hope you guys are there. I have a lot of things. I'm going to try to keep it down to 30 again. I think I had 30 or 35 the last destash, and I have added quite a few more things, but the things in this destash are going to be, I don't think I have very many items above $50. Most of them I think are going to be 30 or below. So if that helps you, I mean, I do have a few items that are above the 50, but not many. I mean, it's going to be a very small percentage that are above that $50. And those are going to be for finished quilt tops. Things like that. Things that are like a quilt top that's been done. I may have 1 or 2 projects that are larger projects that are fully kitted out. I don't know if I have any of those, but I don't recall everything I have pulled. So let me preface everything here with that. I don't quite recall everything I've pulled because I have looked at so much stuff this past week, and this has been an eventful week for us. My dad had medical testing Thursday, and that's why I had taken off work, so I could go be with him to make sure everything was okay with him, and he could get driven back and forth from home to the hospital and then back home. And he did great. Everything went fine with that. But I mean, that took a whole day and we've had a lot of stressing and worrying over that visit for nothing. Absolutely nothing. So guys, if you have something going on like that, don't stress and worry over things you cannot change, because you can't change it. It don't make a difference. Let the doctors take care of everything. That's what they have an education for. So I've just had a very eventful week, trying to plan for that, with my dad, and then trying to get everything done at work for me to be gone until the beginning of the year. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in that too. They'll go back to work on the 29th for one day. You know, they'll work. They won't work this Monday. I will, but then they'll work next Monday, which will be fine. I already have everybody's time in for holiday and all that stuff, so we're good on payroll. And that's the only thing I really worry about with work, is because I don't really have anyone trained, because the guy that is my backup, he just came back to work he was off for surgery himself, and you know, a lot of things have changed in our system, and I've not really needed a backup to do payroll, because I've always, even if I had to take off, I've always just come in and done it real quick, because we have certain things that have to have certain dates on them, like reports have to be ran on certain dates. And so I've always just come in and did it. So he really doesn't know how to do current payroll, even though I have a packet. He has a packet on how to do it. It seems like the only time that I was not able to go in, I was very ill, and payroll still wasn't done right. I mean, to me it makes sense, because that's how my mind works. Is I'm a bullet person. You know, I have the list that's got the bullet points on it. And he's not one of those people. So it's easy for me to follow it, because I do it every month. But I don't know. I'm going to have to take him through a rigorous payroll training, and just have him the next couple payrolls, have him come in and do the payroll and me sit with him and just make sure he does it right, because I need to know if I'm not going to be there, that everything is okay. Because I don't want to give my headquarters, I don't want my relief to give them a mess, because then I have to clean it up when I get back. And I mean, like I said, though, he's my backup, so he shouldn't really have to know like all the ins and outs of everything. And I'm grateful to have somebody that at least knows how to work the day cards. Because right now at the end of the year, we are running very shy. Our superintendent has been out ill, and then our other two supervisors, they are out. So last week, or this week, it was actually this current week, we had no superintendent and no supervisor. So I ran the office, and my backup, he ran the cruise. So I think we did pretty good, though. Now, I wasn't there Thursday, so I don't know what happened Thursday. But I know they were on a job on interstate, I believe, that they had to get finished up. And I think it rained. And they said rain or shine, it had to be done. So I'm hoping it got done. Well, friends, I'm going to press this. I'm going to press all my borders that I have on here. You'll see my snowman hat. I keep saying snowman. What is wrong with me? My Santa hats is my middle border. I have that white glittery fabric, and then I have my Santa hats, and next I'll have my dark rusty red dials, and that'll be, well, I still need to put my Santa hats on the top and bottom. But I'm going to press these out, and we'll be right back. And friends, just like that, we have our second border on completely. Now what I'm going to do is start pinning my final border on, and that is our dark color. I've got it measured out. I will say in the pattern, I did have an issue. They called for 6 strips to make the border. No. 6 strips did not make the border for me, for these outer borders. Yeah, 6 strips did make the inner one, but not the outer ones. I would have had to have pieced every little piece of scrap I had together, but I had plenty of fabric left over, so I just cut extra strips, and I just made sure I had 8. I went on and cut 8 of everything because I know I'm going to have some extra, but that makes it where I can put the seam in the center on this outer border. I didn't do that on the center border. I did not cut the 8. But it only said cut 5, and that 5 did not even work on that center one. But I don't like I guess what you call it, piecemealing your borders. I don't like doing that. Now, if I have to put 2 together, that's fine. I will put 2 together, but I'm going to trim on the ends and not on one end. I'm going to fold it in half, so like this right here, so my seam is in the center. I like that seam to be in the center, and it's that way on the center border, and well, on one of the center borders. Well, it's that way on both of the side borders. The top border, one of them I did piece together, and then I was just like, I don't like this, so I cut extra and made the other border, the other top or bottom border, because they're the same size. I made it where it had the seam in the center and not pieced close to the end. So now we are putting our first outer border on. It's the side border. It's our third border. We're just making sure everything stays even on that side. So we're doing that 1/4 of an inch seam there. I've got all of this piled in my lap, guys, and I've got a lot of pins in my lap. So that means I'm probably getting poked, which I am. And today, guys, what I told y'all earlier, I'm just kind of finishing up things. I've got a lot running through my mind right now about how I'm going to prepare for the holidays. I've still got to get my house cleared out and decorated. I still have boxes to unpack. I still got to figure out what I've got for everybody and if I need to go get something else. I know on my grandbaby, my granddaughter, I need to go get her something else. I think I'm going to go get her another pair of shoes. We got her some house slippers, but my husband got my grandson, or our grandson, a pair of rubber boots, which I had gotten her for her birthday, because that's what her parents told me she wanted. Or needed, because I'm like, you know, whatever she wants or needs, just let me know. And she likes bluey, so I got her a little pink pair of rubber bluey boots. And she was loving them things. When she got them, she was styling, wearing her shades and her rubber boots. My grandbabies are rubber boot wearing back kids. I don't know too many kids where I live or where we grew up that probably their first pair of shoes is rubber boots. Because we let our kids go play in the mud holes. We let them play. We let them be kids. And probably before their 5th birthday, they have a pew pew. Because I know my great niece, well, she had one, but of course it was under the understanding she didn't get to have it until she was older, because all of our children hunt. Both, I have 2 girls and a boy, and I think when they were in their early teen, well, my son got his first pew pew at 10, because my husband was teaching him how to hunt. And this was going to be the first year that he was going to get to go hunt with him. So he got him his own pew pew. And the reason I say pew pew is because I can't say the other one, because it'll be deemed, you know, not good. And speaking of, he's calling me right now. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that, friends. Whenever my son calls, I take his call because I don't hear from him very often. And I like to, anytime I can talk to him, I'll give him I'll answer his call. Because he normally, his wife calls. So if he calls, I'm normally afraid something has happened. And he was just calling to try to get in contact with his sister, and nobody's answering their phone today. And he was trying to get an update on their dad, and I don't have an update because their dad and I really are not in communication with one another. We've been divorced for years. So, we've been divorced since 2002. So, yeah, we've been divorced for a really long time. And I'm not a next of kin for him. So, what I'm doing right now is working on the top and bottom borders for this awareness quilt. The top and bottom border has this white piece added to the end of it to kind of give us our cornerstones of our quilt. So I'm just adding that there. I've already trimmed it off at where it needed to be trimmed off at. So I'd already gotten both of my side borders on and pressed. And I got my bottom border on. It's not pressed, but I'm going to press this so it nests with my other seam on the quilt. So one moment. So here is where I'm putting this on. When I put it on, it will look like that. But let me get this pinned on, and we will get this last border put on for the quilt top. I need to get it pinned on, so I'll be back once I get it pinned. So now we're attaching this border here. I'm just making sure everything is lined up. I did find that if you have that 1/4 of an inch seam, that everything does turn out really nicely. And everything is matching up really well. So I think this is going to be a beautiful quilt top here. I think I was telling you guys about what I'm needing to do. I don't even know who I still need to get for. I need to get my bags out for my kids and start putting their items in it. But I know next week, that is probably what I'm going to be doing. Until next week, I'm not going to do any shopping until next week during the week maybe, because I'm hoping maybe the traffic won't be so bad, but I don't know. Kids will be out of school, and when they're out of school, it is just a madhouse most places. But I do know I've got to do some real quick food preps this week. Now, I mean, I'm not cooking Christmas dinner because nobody's going to be here for Christmas dinner. My children are not going to be here. And we do that for a reason. I do not want my children to have to go to multiple places for Christmas, because I can remember when I was little, you know, we always liked to be at home on Christmas Day, stay in our pajamas and play with our toys that we got. And that's what I want my children to be able to do with their children, and hopefully they get to do that. So friends, I am done with our awareness quilt. This is the soft square. This was in Soft Squares advent box. I will hang it up here behind me and take a picture of it and put it at the end of the video for y'all to see it. So friends, thank you so much for joining me for finishing the awareness quilt top. Please give me a thumbs up if you have enjoyed seeing a project done out of one of the advent boxes that I received this month. Leave a comment and tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do. I would love it if you'd become part of our family here on the channel. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, guys.